A hearty welcome to the 19th Global Women, Childcare, Nursing and Internal Medicine Summit. I take this opportunity to thank to the SciTech Central Conferences for giving me this opportunity for my presentation. Myself, Mrs. Soumya Sonalika, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Community Health Nursing. I belong to Kalinga Institute of Nursing Science, KIIT University, Odisha, India. The topic is dependence on the social networking sites and its relationship with the academic performance among teenagers. Here are my objectives: to identify the dependence on the social networking sites among teenagers, to assess their academic performance, to determine the relationship between the dependence on social networking sites and academic performance. And my methodology: the research approach uses quantitative, the research design is a cross-sectional study, the socio-demographic variables used are the age of the respondents, gender, education, socio-economic status, income of the parents, occupation of the parents, common social networking sites, percentage scored in the previous examination, time spent in the social media, ill effects of the internet addiction. The population are higher secondary school, belong to Bhubaneswar. And my sample are the teenagers from Kendra Vidyalaya Unit 4 School, Mahatsi Women's College, Rajdhani College, KIIT Higher Secondary School teenagers. So sample were collected from 4 school and college. Sampling technique is disproportionate stratified random sampling. The sample size is 220 teenagers. The inclusion criteria are those who have at least one social media account and spend more than 2 hours per day, both boys and girls from arts, science and commerce stream, those willing to participate in the study. And the exclusion criteria is those who have attended conferences, seminars, workshop on ill effects of the internet and the social networking sites, that is SNS. And the tool used for social network for the demographic variable is the self-structured questionnaire. And for the dependency on the SNS, the tool used is the structured social media addiction scale, SMAS. And for the assessment of the academic performance, the tool used is a semi-structured academic performance self-assessment. Prior permission was taken from the Institutional Ethical Committee and the authorities of the higher secondary schools. And the investigator met each school's teenagers and the consent was obtained from the participants. Data was collected for a period of 2 weeks. And the method of data collection were questionnaire technique in English language, and the participants were given the various tools for data collection. And the analysis and interpretation: the data was edited, tabulated, analyzed and interpreted, and findings were presented in the form of the tables and diagrams. So they were divided into 5 sections. Looking for the first section 1 and the socio-demographic variables. According to the bar diagram, it shows the frequency distribution of the respondents according to the age group in years. So the highest teenagers belong to 17 to 18 years, that is 44.1%, and less than 15 years is 5.9%. And the bar diagram showing the frequency in percentage of the gender of teenagers. Male, they belong to 55.5%, which is majority and the highest, as compared to the female, that is 44.5%. Here the bar diagram showing the frequency in percentage of the type of the family distribution of the teenagers: nuclear, joint and extended. And the highest majority belongs to the nuclear family, that is 55%. The bar diagram showing percentage-wise distribution of the educational status of the teenagers. Maximum belong to the 11 standards, that is 64.1%. This is the educational status of the teenagers, whereas the 12th class, that is only 35.9%. The frequency and distribution, stream-wise distribution, arts, science and commerce stream. So majority of the teenagers belong to 44.5% belong to arts stream, and 34.1 they belong to commerce stream, and 21.4 belong to science stream. Here is the pie diagram showing the percentage scored in the previous examination. Maximum 39.1% of teenagers scored below 70% in the previous examination, and the lowest, that is 9.5% of teenagers scored above 90% in the previous examination. Looking at the educational status of the respondents' parents, education of the father up to graduation and above, 38.2% of fathers belong to this category. And if you look at the education of the mother, the maximum belong to higher secondary, that is 37.7%, and rest others have no formal education, that is 16.8%. And percentage scored in the previous examination, maximum percentage belong to below 70%, that is 39.1%. As we have discussed in the previous pie diagram. This is according to the distribution of the parents' occupation and family income. So occupation of the father, maximum of the students' father belong to government service, government sector, that is 45%, and only 7.3% of the father work in the agriculture sector. Rest 10% are self-employed, and 37.7% works in the private sector. Likewise, if you look at the occupation of the mother, so the highest belongs to the private sector, that is 33.2%, and rest others are housewife with 27.3%, government sector 25%, and self-employed 14.5%. Family income is highest, that is 20,000 to 30,000 rupees belong to this category with 39.5%. This is the frequency distribution bar diagram showing the time spent in social networking sites per day. So if you look at the per day, the highest is 2 to 3 hours, that is 35.9%, and the lowest is less than 1 hour they spend, that is only 15% of the teenagers. And the favorite site mostly used, maximum students favorite is Facebook, that is 30%, and more than one if they use Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter or any other site, that is 14.8%. So this is the bar diagram showing the percentage purpose of using social networking site. This is for the purpose of chatting, downloading music, video and picture, which is highest 40.5%, for academic work, which is the lowest, that is 7.7%, and for status update, comment, small post, that is 26.8%. And this is the bar diagram showing the frequency and percentage of the social networking sites since how many years. More than 2 years, it's 45.5%. This is the percentage frequency distribution of the effect of social networking sites. It mostly affects the academic performance with 46.8%, sports 20.5%, and other extracurricular activities with 32.7%. It's mostly highest affects the academic performance, and it is difficult to spend day without social networking sites. When asked, maximum answered yes with 59.1%. When they were asked about the online activity increases during holidays, they said yes, that is 77.3%. And this is the pie diagram. Section 2, it's all about the description related to the frequency and percentage distribution to assess the dependency of the social networking sites among the teenagers. Social media addiction score, mild, moderate and severe. It is the scoring 29 to 67, mild, moderate 68 to 106, severe 107 to 145, and percentage was highest in case of moderate, 57.3%. This is the bar diagram showing moderate 68 to 106 scoring. Here the researcher had used the 5-point Likert scale, which consists of 29 items social media addiction score. It was measured in terms of the response to 29 questions used in the instrument for data collection. The responses were tabulated in a 5-point scale from 1 to 5. Score 5 for strongly agree, 5 for agree, 3 for neutral, 2 for disagree, and 1 for strongly agree. All of the items in the scale were positive. So this indicates that the addictiveness of the social networking site has the significant influence to the respondents. In my section 3, here is the description of the teenagers regarding the academic performance in the frequency and percentage distribution table. The academic performance score was divided into 3, that is the average, good and excellent. Average score is 15 to 35, good score is 36 to 55, and excellent score is 56 to 75. Out of that, the highest percentage belonged to 69.5%, where the students' score was very average. Here you can see the minimal score, that is excellent, is only 8.6%, and the highest was maximum average students with 69.5%. This is the self-appraisal score based on 50 numbers of questions, which is divided into 3 categories: academic, personal skills, and personal habitat. This 50 number of questions were divided into question number 1 to 5 with academic, 6 to 10 with personal skills, and last 5 questions belong to the personal habitat. The scoring was 5-point scale: 1 never, 2 rarely, 3 sometimes, 4 often, and 5 always for positive, and reverse order for negative indicators. It was found that the majority of the respondents had average performance. So in the section 4, there is a description regarding the association of the social networking sites with academic performance score. On the left hand side is the social media addiction score, in the middle is the academic performance score, and this is the total scoring, where we found that the chi-scoring is association. Chi-square is 62.460 with significance level of 0.00. This represents the association of the social media use score with academic performance score. In the mild addiction group, that is 13.6 had excellent academic performance. In the moderate and severe addiction level, 11.9% and 4.9% respectively had excellent academic performance. Similarly, the proportions of the students with good academic performance decreases with the increase in the level of addiction. These indicate that the academic performance level is inversely associated with the social media addiction level, with the significance level of p equal to 0.000. This implies that The student addictiveness to social networking sites has a significant influence on the academic performance. So this is the correlation between the social media use score and the academic performance score, and according to the Pearson correlation it's minus 0.4.0, and we can find this is the significance level at 0.000 according to the two-tailed significance level with a sample size of 220. And here is the scattered plot diagram showing minus or the negative correlation between the academic performance total score and the social media total score. It was observed a significant negative correlation, that is minus 0.402. This implies that the increase in one result decrease in the other and vice versa. After my analysis and interpretation, here comes to the implications. The present study was carried out to acknowledge the usage of the social networking sites and its impact on the academic performance. The impact was very high. As we could see, it affected the academic performance of the students in selected higher secondary school at Bhubaneswar. And the nurses play an important role in maintaining the mental health among the school children. So we distributed a leaflet among the students or the teenagers on the usage of the social networking sites and its impact to maintain a good mental health and academic performance of the children. How this was implied in the nursing education. So implication of the study is beneficial in the nursing students. They can develop their knowledge regarding the level of social media addiction and the academic performance. They acquire knowledge on the social skill like coping skill. It reduces the addiction, more involvement in the SNS and the social interaction. This teaches the teenagers about how to be monitored by the teachers, the parents, how to use these sites, and how they should use the social media as a tool to improve the academic performance in the school. They should manage their study time and prevent distraction that can be provided by the social media. There should be increase in the number of the time spent by the students while surfing the net. Those social networking sites should be expanded in the new packages, and the new pages should be created to enhance the academic activities and avoid setback in the students. That should create a balance between the chit-chatting and the academic activities. More attention should be directed to the research, and the use of the social media network by the students should focus on the academic rather for the negative purpose. And if we look at the administration, the nursing institution should form a committee to monitor and control the excessive use of the SNS. At the same time, it should educate the students for the academic performance improvement activities, and SNS should be also used in getting the educational material for the student assignment and the project work. It should be used as a platform to interact for the students, friends and faculties to discuss on the burning issues or the new technologies or clear the doubts related to the syllabus. The institution should encourage students to publish articles to improve the communication and the writing skills. SNS should be used as an effective e-learning tool. And finally, the findings suggest that the students should not spend more time on the internet or the social networking sites. Concluding my topic, a large response from the students shows that they spend their daily life considerable time in different activities like profile chatting with their friends, profile updating, posting photos for leisure purposes. The results imply that the too much use of the social networking site has adverse effect on the academic performance of the teenagers. This implies that the social networking sites affect the study time of the students. The result shows that the continuous use of the social networking sites affect the students' examination results. Thank you and have a wonderful day.